Hey guys, today's video is going to be my 30-day music challenge. Now, I did this on Twitter before, but to be honest, I wanted to do it again because some of the picks that I picked on Twitter, I kind of want to change, as there's a lot of songs I didn't think about originally that deserved to be mentioned, and I didn't really mention them. So I kind of want to do it again because, to be honest, I wasn't really happy with what I picked on Twitter, so yeah. Also, a lot of people that I know don't have Twitter accounts, so they never really got a chance to see it. So I thought I might as well do it on YouTube as well, and yeah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So first up we have title theme music, and the game that I want to do for this is going to be an underrated game, in my opinion. Although, I can understand the hate, but still, I really do like this game a lot. And it's for the Xbox 360, it's Infinite Undiscovery. Next up we have first level music. Now there's a lot of games that could qualify for this, but my pick is going to be Chaos Legion, and this song is fucking epic. Like, I cannot stress how epic this song is. Like, this is how you start a game, people. This is what you do when you want to leave a good first impression on the player when they boot up the game for the first time. Now next up we have 8-bit music. Now I haven't played many NES games, but I have played Game Boy games, and my pick is going to be a Game Boy game, and it's going to be the Pokemon trading card game, the Grandmaster's theme. This song is intense. Without a doubt, the most intense 8-bit music I've ever heard in my entire life. And personally, I think this is better than the final boss theme of Pokemon Gold and Silver, without a doubt. Like, this song is way better, and quite frankly, I wish this song played in the final battle in Pokemon Gold and Silver, because that would have been amazing, but unfortunately, it's on a game that less people have played and know about, but it's still an amazing song, and yeah, I love it. Next up we have music from a console exclusive game. Now I wish I didn't have to pick this because I don't think console exclusives are a good thing. I've already mentioned that and I still stand by that. But for the sake of this category, I'm going to go with the Shadow Hearts series, particularly Shadow Hearts 1. And the song I'm going to pick is Coffin Fetish, which plays in the Blue Castle after Bistritz. Now the reason why I like this song is because of how tranquil it sounds, but at the same time it's eerie as well, and I just like that mixture, especially after you go from Bistritz to this place. Bistritz is like super creepy, and then this is kind of more tranquil, and I just like that contrast. I think this song is very fitting for the area it plays in. Right, next up we have hub world slash overworld music, and my pick is going to be pretty generic. It's going to be Final Fantasy VII's world map theme. Not the second one, the first one. And the reason why is because it is, without a doubt, the most expressive piece of music that I've ever heard play in a world map, period. It really encompasses that feeling of an unforgettable adventure. Next up we have relaxing video game music. And I know exactly what my pick is for this one, although I will have to say it was a hard choice because I had to choose from a single game. And that game is the greatest game ever made and has the greatest soundtrack in video game history, Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria. This game was made for this category, so picking a song from this game to fit in this category is hard, and I had a hard time deciding which song to put on this list from this game because this game's soundtrack is phenomenal. There's just nothing that comes close to this game's soundtrack in my opinion. It's that good. And the reason why I chose the song that I chose in the end was simply because it's the most therapeutic of all the songs in my opinion, and I think that's the most important when it comes to this category. I could listen to that song all day, but sadly we have to move on. The next category is indie game music, and my pick for this is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Stage 2. Now, the reason why I picked this is because I just love the oriental feel it's got going for it. It's a really catchy song, but it's also got that exotic feel, and I just think that it's a really unique piece of music because of that, and I just really love it. Next we have music from a shooter, first or third person. Now, I already mentioned one of the songs from this series on my top 10 metal tracks list, so I'm not going to mention that song again. I'm going to mention a new one. This one is from Painkiller Battle Out of Hell, not the original Painkiller, and it's going to be the song from Looney Park, because this song is fucking awesome. It's one of those songs that may seem repetitive to some people, and I get it, but it's one of those repetitive songs that you just don't get tired of, if that makes sense. It really pumps you up for a fight, so that's going to be my pick for this. Next up we have music from a licensed game. Now, normally I would pick Fuel from Metallica, which is in Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, but unfortunately that song is also a licensed song, so I don't want to have any copyright issues. So instead, I'm going to pick Kaiba's theme from Yu-Gi-Oh! Stairway to the Destined Duel. Right, next up is RPG battle music. Grandia 2, no contest. This song is just fucking amazing. It's the most awesome battle theme of all time. Nothing comes close. This song makes me look forward to every single battle in this game. This is what every single battle theme in every single game should be. This song defines what Grandia 2 is all about. Right, next up we have puzzle game music. Now, this one is going to surprise a lot of people because they'll be expecting something like Tetris or something along those lines. But when I think of puzzle games, I think of games like the Zelda games and games like that. So my pick is going to be Gerudo Desert from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And I know that's going to trigger a lot of people because they say, oh, but that's not a puzzle game, that's an action-adventure game. 2 words, fuck you. Now, for everybody else who has a brain, this game's soundtrack is pretty decent, actually. Like, this game is a pretty gorgeous looking world as well, but it's a puzzle game, and that's why I'm not a big fan. It might not involve having blocks fall down and land on other blocks. That's not what this game's about. That's not the type of puzzle game I'm talking about. I'm talking about a game where every single room in a dungeon, nearly, well, most dungeon rooms, involve solving a puzzle to progress. That's what I think a puzzle game kind of is. But I suppose the Tetris style games do count as well, but when it comes to music, this is what I think of, so yeah. Right, next up we have music that makes you sad. And there's only one game that can fit this category, and that's Valkyrie Profile. The song I'm going to be picking is one of the songs that plays in cutscenes. And I think this one is, without a doubt, the saddest of them all, mainly because it kind of has that feeling of hopelessness, you know? It feels like there's no hope, you know? That's kind of how this song feels to me. It's not like tragic in the moment, it's more like the aftermath of a tragedy, where you look back and think back to the tragedy and you try to have that feeling of, you know, it's gonna get better, but then reality hits you and you realize that there really is no hope. And that's what this song is all about. And really that's what this game is all about, because Valkyrie Profile is a game where there is no hope, there is no salvation, only death. And that's why it's the perfect game to pick for this category. Next up we have music from a game you don't like. and I've already reviewed this game, so it should be pretty easy for me to make this pick. It's from the Solidaritaria, and my pick for this is going to be a different song than the one I picked in my top 10 list, because, well, you've seen those songs already, so I thought I'd show you a different song this time that's just as awesome, if not more, than the ones that I mentioned in the list. So, here you go. Okay, next up we have music with vocals. Now, when I think of music with vocals, I think of the Art Narco games, but my pick is going to be from Arno Surge, which is connected to the Art Narco games, but it's sort of set in the same universe, though technically not part of the same series. It's complicated. Regardless, my pick is going to be the song that plays at the end of Phase 1, as this song is pretty epic, to say the least, and it is one of the last songs Origa ever sung for a video game. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal, and this song would be really fitting for something like Mountain Blade, particularly Viking Conquest, when you just like send in like a huge army of Vikings and just charge in with your army to this song. It would just be too perfect, and someone really needs to mod this song into Mountain Blade so I can listen to it in every single battle. Okay, next up we have boss battle music. Now, I wish I wasn't playing by the rules of only one song per game, because pretty much every single boss theme that made it on my top 10 list that I could mention is already in another category in this 30-day challenge. So I have to pick the only game that isn't mentioned in any of the categories, and that's Baten Kaitos, Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. My pick for this is going to be a spoiler boss fight, so I'm not going to really go into too much detail. All I'm going to say is that it's a pretty intense song, and yeah, I like it. Okay, next up we have 16-bit music. Now my pick for this is going to be Star Ocean, and the song I'm going to pick plays in two of the game's optional dungeons, and that is Ancient Ruin. Now the reason why I picked this song is because it's really catchy, it's got a nice beat to it, and it's also kind of unusual, and I just really like it. It's just got a really nice rhythm to it, so yeah. Next we have music you don't get tired of, and my pick for this is from Metal Gear Rise 2, and the song is Resounding Heartbeat that plays in one of the cave areas in the game. And this song is just so funky and catchy, it just really stuck with me, and because of that I just really can't get tired of it, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just got a really nice rhythm to it and really nice beat to it, and it's just one of those songs that you just, like I say, never get tired of. Next we have music from a game released in the year you were born. Now I was born in 1993, so my pick is going to be Star Fox for the SNES. And the song I'm going to pick is the music that plays on Meteor. I really like this song because it really has that deep space feel, you know, like you're really far away from your home world and you're on this really distant world, and it also has that feeling of like you're getting close to the end but like you're miles away from home, and I just love that feel, you know, and it's just a really catchy song as well, so yeah, that's my pick for this. Next up we have a cover or remix of a song from a video game, and my pick is going to be SSH's cover of Fighting of the Spirit from Tales of Fantasia. This song is just savage. It really is. It's without a doubt one of the best metal covers I've ever heard, and without a doubt an incredible song. So if you like metal, you're going to absolutely love this. Next up we have music from a racing game. Well, it got my #1 spot on the techno list, so it's F-Zero GX and it's Zen, the music that plays in Aeropolis, which is just fucking awesome. Without a doubt the most adrenaline pumping song of all time, and the greatest trance techno song of all time. This song is phenomenal and perfectly describes the F-Zero experience. Like, there's just nothing quite like listening to this song when you are on the final lap on multiplex. It's just perfect. Next up we have music you associate with frustration. Oh boy, I know exactly what I'm picking. Well, actually I could pick another song from this game because this game is frustrating as hell, but this is the song that sticks out to me the most because you hear it more often, and it's Terror and Courage from Odin Sphere. And I'm mainly referring to the original Odin Sphere because it's a pain in the ass. It's without a doubt one of the most frustrating games I've ever played in my life. And yeah, this game has an amazing soundtrack, and I really wanted to mention it in other categories, but I thought this was the most fitting category to put this game's soundtrack in because this game, at least the PS2 version, is without a doubt one of the most frustrating experiences I've ever gone through. Period. Next up we have town and village music. Now, there's a lot of tracks that I could pick for this, and unfortunately since I already mentioned Valk Profile 2, I can't mention Japan's theme, because that song's just phenomenal. But Stylish Until the End of Time also has some great town themes as well, and even then, it's also very hard to pick from that game. I mean, Jesus, like there's so many amazing town themes in that game, but the one I'm going to go for is the music that plays in Whipple Village, which is the first village in the game, unless you count Hyder, which is technically a resort, but you know what I mean, like the first actual village in the game. And that song is going to be The Desolate Smell of Earth. I really like this song because it just has that warm feeling, if that makes sense, and you just get that sense of relief that you found civilization, but at the same time it's got that feeling of like it's not only very far away from home, but it's also very primitive, and I just really like just how warm this song feels, and it's also a pretty relaxing song as well, so I really like this song. And it also plays in Stylish 5 as well, but it doesn't play in a town in that game, so yeah. Okay, next up we have underrated music. Now, I'm not sure what people mean by underrated music, because there's a lot of games out there that have great music but aren't very well liked. But I've never really heard of an underrated song, a song that people hate that I like. I've never really heard many people say a game that has a really bad song or soundtrack. Besides maybe Crazy Bus, but we're not going to put that here because I hate Crazy Bus. So, when I think of underrated music, I think of music from a game that a lot of people don't like. So, I'm going to pick a song from Grandia 3 here, because while I do understand why a lot of people hate Grandia 3, I still think the music in that game is pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as Grandia 2's music, but it's still pretty good. It's still Noriyuki Uedari, so it's still a solid soundtrack. So yeah, this song is the one that plays in the Melk Ruins, and it kind of reminds me of Jolly Roger Bay from Super Mario 64 a little bit. Okay, next up we have music that's constantly stuck in your head, which to me is very similar to music you don't get tired of. And my pick for this is going to be from the PC Engine version of Ys 3, Wonders of Ys. And the song I'm talking about is called The Boys Got Wings, and it plays in the field areas just before you enter the dungeon. I really like this song a lot. Like, it's just full of energy and it's catchy, and I love the synth. But yeah, this song is just amazing. It just really is, and I just can't get it out of my head. Like, the first time I listened to it, it just got stuck in my head. So yeah. Right, next up we have music that gets you pumped, and my pick is going to be yet another Yeast game, but this time it's going to be Yeast 7, and the song I'm going to pick is Crossing Rage, that plays in 2 of the game's boss fights. Now, this song is the definition of music that gets you pumped. I mean, I could have put Zen from F-Zero GX on here, but I already mentioned it before, so this is the next best thing. And yeah, this song, it's just one of those songs that just keeps building up energy, you know? And that's the reason why it's the most fitting song to put into this category. And yeah, it's a pretty awesome song, and yeah, it definitely got me pumped when I first heard it. If you ever need a workout song, this is it. Next up we have music you like from a game you haven't played. Now, I've wanted to play this game for a while, though I haven't gotten around to it because, well, originally this game didn't come out in Europe, and that game is Baten Kaitos Origins. Now, I already mentioned the Baten Kaitos song, but I haven't mentioned the Baten Kaitos Origins song, and the reason being is because I haven't played it. But I have heard one of the songs from the game, and that's the battle theme of Baten Kaitos Origins, and it's pretty amazing, so yeah, I really do want to get around to playing that game at some point. Next we have music from a handheld game. Now this was difficult to do because what qualifies as a handheld game? I mean, there's been ports of games that have been available on the handheld, and there's been games that started on a handheld that were ported to other systems that weren't handhelds. So it's kind of complicated. But I decided to just keep it to games that were exclusive to handhelds, and really I had a hard time doing this. I mean, obviously I already mentioned one, and that was the Grandmaster's theme on my 8-bit category, but I can't mention that again, so I actually had to think hard about this one, and there were a lot of songs that I did consider, but then I remembered there was this one song that I completely forgot about, and that's the song that made the list, and it's actually from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, and it's the final dungeon of that game, and yeah, the music in that final dungeon was surprisingly pretty amazing, and without a doubt the best song I've ever heard on the Nintendo DS, and that's a pretty big feat if you ask me, because the Nintendo DS did actually have quite a few good games, including, like Valkyrie Profile Covenant of the Plume, which was also very close on this category, but the reason why I didn't mention that game is because a lot of the music in that game is remixed from Valkyrie Profile 1, so I thought, you know what, I'll just mention this game instead, because honestly this song is really good anyways, so I think that this song beats it, so yeah. Okay, next up we have music that makes you feel nostalgic. Now, this is going to be another handheld game, and it's going to be Pokemon Gold, Silver and Crystal. And the song that I'm going to pick from this game is the music that plays in Route 42 and all the routes leading up to the Ice Cave, and also the Lake of Rage. Now, this song is the one that I picked mainly because even though all of the songs in that game give me nostalgia, this is my favourite of all of the songs. And it just has that feeling of adventure in it, like a lot of the songs in the game do, but this one is just more epic, but at the same time it gives you that feeling of like you're a long way from home, and you know, I like that because it kind of shows how far you've come, if that makes sense. And yeah, it does play later on in the game, so it's a pretty amazing song if you ask me. Right, next up we have final boss music. Now, I did a top 10 list of my favourite final boss music already, so if you want to know what my favourite final boss theme is, then go check it out. For this category, I'm going to pick a song from a game that did make it on my final boss theme list, but I didn't actually mention the song that I'm going to mention. Now, you're probably thinking that it's going to be like the first phase of the final boss, and the song that I mentioned in my top 10 list was the second phase. Actually, you'd be wrong, because this song plays in the exact same battle that the song that I mentioned in the list plays. Now, just to give you an idea as to what I mean, the first song plays at the start of the battle and plays throughout up until the final boss reaches low health. Then it changes to a different song. The Last Remnant is a bit strange in the sense that the music kind of changes based on the situation sometimes, and this is one of those cases, but this one only plays in the final boss fight, and it always plays, because eventually the final boss is always going to get to low health, so yeah. But the song I'm going to pick is the song that plays up until that point, and it's called Nisus. So yeah, I didn't mention it in the list because I personally prefer the second half of the final boss theme, but you've already heard that before if you've seen my top 10 list, so I'm going to mention the first half. But still, I really do like the first half as well. It is a really amazing song, and when put together with the second half, it's even better, because they just blend in so well together. Finally, we have credits music, and my pick for this is going to be from Star Ocean: The Second Story, and the song is called Reforming Crystals. This song really gives off the feeling of drifting through outer space, which is extremely fitting for this game, as well. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, like, it fits the ending of this game, and it's just perfect. It really is a really unique song that just fits so well with the game, and yeah, I really like this song a lot. It's a really calming song, but at the same time it's really unusual and otherworldly, if that makes sense. And yeah, I really like it a lot. So yeah, that's my pick for credits music. So that's the end of my 30-day music challenge, and I encourage anyone who's interested in taking part to do so and to do a video response, responding to me with your 30-day music challenge. You don't have to do it once per day, you can just do it all at once if you really want to, and yeah, like, I'd appreciate that if you were to do that, but you don't have to do it. I mean, if you want to, you could just basically tell me just songs you like in the comments. That's enough, really. I don't really expect you to do a whole 30 days, just talk about video game music that you like. But yeah, in any case, I'm finished here, so I'll see you guys later.